Okay, now we're going to focus on questioning. This is one of the critical sales game fundamentals, and it really happens throughout the entire process, regardless of where you are. So we talked earlier about the best practice of planning. One of the very key areas you want to always make sure you plan is, what are the questions that I'm going to ask? So we would introduce this technique as a way for you to get a vision for your meetings and a vision for those questions, not necessarily a script. Although you can use it as a tool to identify 2 or 3 key questions and jot those down before you go into the meeting, this is really a planning tool to use. So how does it work? 1, you want to get an idea of what are the 3 or 4 areas of questions that you want to ask. So think of them as broad categories, and you're going to learn more about that in this particular section of the tutorial. So you want to have an idea of what's going to be most useful in trying to accomplish what I'm trying to, the purpose that I'm trying to achieve in this meeting. And then the second aspect is then within each area of inquiry, what are some of the actual questions that you might want to ask? So you'll see the acronym BIG here, that's broad information gathering. You're going to learn more about what those types of questions are, but they tend to be more open-ended questions. And then the second type of question we're going to have you think about is the must-ask question, which tends to be more narrow, kind of gives you a sense of where you are in the process and how you need to move ahead. Now, as you work through the questioning technique, as I said, you would want to have an idea of what are the 3 or 4 areas of questions. Think about the questions you're going to ask in each area, and then once you go, you're going to move from broad to narrow, and that's what these arrows are. They're very directional. Kind of once you've exhausted that category, you're going to move to the next category of questioning. So again, this is a fundamental planning technique. You're going to get more of the details in this part of the tutorial, but make sure you have this in your toolkit as you execute the sales game process.